Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. And for this heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, we're a united band.
All right, it is that time on Tuesday night. It is time for our final show of this tonight of the evening. It is time for the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here. Josh Wilson along here with Christopher Like here, joining us here. Appreciate everybody that's been watching here so far this evening. And Chris, here it is, our fourth and final show for the night. And then we'll have 4 more shows tomorrow. And then next week, we start to call in a 5 on Tuesday nights because we have the Drive to State edition of the Blitz.
Yeah, looking forward to the Drive to State. And look, we got a lot coming up over the next few weeks. So,
no, absolutely. Here is we were just saying it is the fourth quarter. Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about this, but our shows are 4 shows. It's 4 quarters. So our first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. We're in the fourth quarter now.
I didn't think about that either.
No, Noli brought it up in the chat here as we roll along here and get ready to go into our Blitz lines here as we talk about what's in the news and what's happened here in our games from some of the games that we spotlighted last week and Frostproof Lakeland Christian. Lakeland Christian, how about the Vikings? They took care of business, handed Frostproof their second loss of the season there, Chris. And, I had a feeling that was going to be the case. And, we both of us we took Lakeland Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of figured, I saw that coming too. That, not really a surprise, but it is a surprise for some people.
Noli says he wants his residuals, by the way. He wants to collect at the pay window. So, but anyways, back to Lakeland Christian. I'm not surprised either. They usually, when those two teams between Frostproof and Lakeland Christian go at it, they usually battle. And this time it goes Lakeland Christian's way on that one, in a very close one. Nature Coast didn't fall into the trap this year. They took care of business against Hudson. 28-0, I believe, was the final score on that one. And Nature Coast, I get it. Chris Hawley is the first-year head coach here at Nature Coast. Made sure not to fall in that trap against Hudson last year. Hudson took the district championship with only 3 wins. Well, they only had 3 wins. All 3 wins were district games. But Nature Coast securing themselves a potential into that driver's seat. As Chris would say, it's the thing with our playoff roadmap series. We're putting teams in one of 3 categories in terms of where you're at in terms of going for the playoffs. It's either you're on the highway, you're on the highway in traffic, or you're in the parking lot. Kind of terms of how we're statement with the drive the state, and I think Nature Coast probably put themselves a bit on the highway after that win.
Oh yeah, they did. And it's gonna be interesting to see how Nature Coast does in the next couple of weeks when they when that district schedule starts ramping up a little bit more.
Yeah, no, absolutely here. And by the way, looking at it, South Sumner, Wiregrass Ranch. I mean, Wiregrass Ranch. I'm gonna talk about this for a moment with Wiregrass Ranch. I think they honestly have got to be one of the best 0-4 teams anywhere in the state. They're a little bit younger, but every game they played in, they have battled, they have fought.
Yeah, I give them credit. Whether they make some noise later on in the year in district play, that remains to be seen. I don't expect it, but Wiregrass Ranch, they're a really good team, but a lot of people just, they just coming up on the wrong end of the stick lately.
No, they have been, and of course, South Sumner got them. South Sumner got their third win over Wiregrass Ranch, and but Wiregrass Ranch start off to an untypical 0-4 start. But again, I pointed out is that I think they're one of the best 0-4 teams anywhere in the state, just because look at who they play, look at the schedule, look at everything they have done here along the way here. Mitchell Eastlake, this one for all of us, Chris. Let me do that again. I did not see that one coming. Oh man, that one was something maybe should have told me that that score against that 13-12 score against Jefferson was a warning sign, but I ignored I ignored the warning sign flashing because I'm like, okay, well, Jefferson may have just played tough. Y'all played tough. Boom. Okay. Nope. That was.
I saw that as I thought that was maybe a one-off, but then here we are. I mean,
here we are. Mitchell's down. Mitchell drops their first game of the year. Eastlake goes to 2-1. Basically, it's. I don't know what else to say on this, but boy, oh boy, Lake Wells. That was looking at that. Pull this up here real quick as we roll around with our couple last other games that we have talked about here. But Lake Wells, that's been an interesting team to watch over there in Polk County. But then, Sebring here and, looking at this, it's a 28-21 game. That was a close. Yeah, Noli didn't say I didn't see Mitchell losing, especially that badly. Yes, no, I agree. That's where I thought there was warning signs there, but I thought maybe just get it out of my head. It was just a one-off. It's just, but that maybe also a testament to Eastlake. The Eastlake is improving this year, and that should also we should also say that's a testament right there. Sebring Lake Wells, that was a close one, 28-21. We took all of us took Lake Wells in our picks, but we thought it would be closer, given the fact that look at Auburndale. They already beat Lake Wells this year, and Emory says Lake Wells Sebring is always close, and it comes down the wire every year. I agree, but Noli does have a point. There might be a little suspect in Lake Wells, especially after go back. You got to go back to the Auburndale game. There's concerns, and that whole entire district really. I'm interested in reading Chris's. I haven't read it yet. Reading what he has looked at in terms of the district, because Auburndale, Lake Wells, Jones are all in the same district.
Yeah,
but I can tell you, there's probably nobody on the highway right now.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple earlier. Auburndale has basically played the same schedule, an equal schedule to Lakeland.
It's crazy, and then, as well as the Jones. I mean, and it's
we compared it to Jones. Auburndale plays an equal schedule to Jones, yet they're winning over Jones.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I'm really, and it says Noli says Lake Wells lost some players to McLaughlin. Well, because McLaughlin's right there in the same. That's an upstart program there in Polk County, and I'm interested. McLaughlin, they're having some struggles there, so we'll see what happens there. And then of course Tampa Bay Tech at Plant, that was another one right there. And yeah, you got to say that Tampa Bay Tech took care of business there.
Yeah, and in a big way. I did not see Tampa Bay Tech winning that big.
No, 39-7. I did not see that either, and that was a kind of a mesmerizer to me as on that one. And of course, coming up here, for our interview, we're going to have the head coach of the Armwood Hawks, who are standing at a nice 4-0 on the season. Beat Durant 45-2, only giving up 2 points there. And this defense, the amount of points that the Armwood has given up here so far in the first 4 games, it's just pretty good. I'm liking what this Armwood team is doing, and again, they're one of the favorites to make a deep run in 6A, if not get to the 6A state championship this year.
No, Armwood. I love what Armwood did, and it can be fun to talk to coach and see what he says about his team.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to talking to Coach Davis. Always good to talk with Coach, and obviously advocates big for his athletes and for his program, and definitely looking forward to this here as well. But it's again coming up. We're coming up tomorrow. We're going to start putting out the playoff roadmap series that Chris has been working on, and I'm going to do a little bit of this stuff as well on that because I've been preparing a lot of other stuff, doing all the rankings out today. So go to FloydHSFootball.com to see all that. And of course, if you're not a season ticket member, hit that FloydHSFootball.com season ticket. Definitely going to be some good content coming at y'all here as well. And we got a thing. And also hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Yes, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Florida HS Football. And we're going to roll along here. We got to take a 2-minute timeout here, then we're going to get to our interview. But first, as we get ready to roll here, we do have our player of the week for the Tampa Bay Blitz, and that is defensive end Colton Shaw from St. Petersburg Catholic from week number 3. Had racked up 12 tackles, 4 tackles for loss and 4 sacks in the Barons' 43-0 victory over Evangelical Christian. What an impressive effort there on defense.
Anytime you can get 4 tackles for loss, you're in the and 4 sacks, you're in the other opponent, on the other side of the field. So that's a great sign for that defense.
No, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back here on the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here on FloydHSFootball.com, and then we'll have head coach Evan Davis from the Armwood Hawks here on with us.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown! Touchdown!
Juggled and caught!
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here. Josh Wilson here along with Christopher Like here as we come into our interview portion of the show. And Joining us now is the head coach of the 4-0 Armwood Hawks, Evan Davis. Coach, appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule here to talk to us, and always a big advocate for your team and your guys. And Coach, hot start for y'all. Just kind of give us some insights just to, how this team is, gelled together in these first 4 weeks of the season and then getting ready to go, obviously, into that, into the backstretch. Obviously, you got Hillsborough this weekend, and then you get into the meat of the schedule in terms of the district here. And, boy, it seems like since from week one, y'all have narrowed how many points you've given up, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, first off, thank you guys so much for having us on and being able to talk about Tampa and Armwood. Really appreciate that. We played a really good team in the Kickoff Classic in CCC, who has been on a tear ever since that. And then, to line up against Gaither, who gets to play Tampa Bay Tech this Friday night, I think is an underrated team. Sumner is playing Tampa Plant was next. And then obviously Tampa Bay Tech, who is a strong program in the area. And then, we played well against Durant last week, but we just got a really good mix. We returned our quarterback from last year, who's committed to USF, Reese Brush, and a really solid core of O-line. And then defensively, our front seven is talented. And then our secondary has 4 Division I commits in it right now. So just playing really, really good defense. So.
No, absolutely. And just looking at Reese Brush last week, he was 5 for 7, 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just about Reese, it's about the other guys. Obviously Reese runs as well, but just talk about some of the other guys that have really kind of been making their names known, because obviously, again, you talk, you got the Division I guys that are there, but there's also a lot of other guys, because hey, it's at the end of the day, it's 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, offensively, it's kind of just a cast of guys that just step up and play their roles. Micah Hudgens is average about 100 yards a game receiving for us right now. And we got 3 other sophomores that start for us, Deshaun, Sharif, Chris Presley, and Rondé Dial. And then we just have kind of a platoon of running backs that have run extremely well, all kind of complement each other. And like I said, we rely on an O-line that is big and physical, and Reese making great decisions for us. And then, like I said, defensively on that side of the ball, led with 3 Division I D linemen and Theo Wilson and a cast of other characters that are just playing really well with the guidance of Coach Warden and Coach Peterson on the defensive side.
So you got Plant coming up at the first district game of the schedule. Talk about Plant and what you expect out of them this year, especially knowing them, you play them almost every year you play them. What the rivalry like with Plant?
Oh man, that rivalry goes back years, decades now. That is always a back and forth with us. So, we got to play them twice last year, and it was a tough game. We won in the last couple of seconds in the playoffs to advance. And, anytime Armwood Plant get to play each other, that's a big time news, not only just the Tampa Bay area, but the state. And, Coach Hank Brown's done a really good job. It'll be our first district game and a money game for us to secure a playoff spot. So we'll be excited and ready to go after we, play Hillsborough on Friday.
No, absolutely. And, let's talk about it, for this week on about with Hillsborough. Obviously, you're going up against the dean of coaches in Hillsborough County, Ora Garcia Jr. I mean, I know a lot of coaches in Hillsborough County and around the state have learned a lot from Coach Garcia and what he's done over the years. What have you learned from him just from what he has done in all his years at Hillsborough? Because I know there's a lot to learn from other colleagues around at different schools.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's one of the, what I would say is probably one of the big 3, with Coach Weiner from Plant, obviously the legend of Armwood High School with Sean Callahan, and then obviously Earl Garcia. So much to learn from those 3, and thankful that all 3 of them really have been a place of reference for me anytime I need anything. Coach Garcia has done a great job of running his program, being very consistent with the standard of what he wants. So, something to idolize and that type of thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, talk about it. You mentioned Sean Callahan, obviously the coach that preceded you, before you became the head coach. I mean, you've been able to continue what he built, in terms of the culture and everything that Armwood is, and talk about all that because playing because a lot of people say it, and it's mentioned in the chat here. They like the Kershaw when they drive by on I-4.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was very fortunate to play for Coach Callahan and then coach alongside him and still extremely close. He'll be on the sideline Friday night for our Hillsborough game, and I'm sure he'll probably travel back over for the plant. He's still a huge supporter, but it's hard to believe that, this is my 9th year as the head coach there, but it still feels like he was just there yesterday. His impact on that program is unbelievable on Hillsborough County football in the state of Florida, what he did there for the longevity. And I just try to take a lot of pride on making sure that standard of what he set for so many years is still upheld, that our alumni are proud to come back. And, we're hoping to be able to make another championship run. We have a lot of numbers on boards around the school and on I-4, as people like to say. We need to add some new ones on there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's talk about Class 6A in particular, because obviously that's where y'all are at into the classification. And it's one that seems to be, West Boca obviously won it last year, but, West Boca came out of nowhere. No one knew about West Boca until last year. But, just the classification itself, I mean, what do you take away from this, considering that just how many really good programs are in this classification?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think West Boca is underrated. I see some polls where they're not even rated, which is insane to me. That team is uber talented.
By the way, top 10 in our Florida Power Rankings Index.
Okay, good. I saw something on like Rivals or something where they weren't the top 25 in the state. I was just like,
holy cow, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they are uber talented. Coach does a great job. They're playing an elite schedule. I mean, last year we were upset by Kissimmee Osceola. They're doing a great job in the Orlando area, and then the northern region. There's so many just classic programs there, from St. Augustine to Buchholz up into the Panhandle with Tate and them, and then Region 4 with South Miami Southridge and some of those programs. Like I said, there's just a lot of really, really good programs. Maybe not some of the classic headliners that people like to see, like a St. Thomas or Chaminade, but there's some really good football in 6A.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what's it going to take for Tampa Bay to get a state championship team?
Wow.
That's a lot of question.
Yeah. We got to just, I'm just really excited. I think we returned enough guys from last year where we thought we had a really good chance. And this group has learned and is able to expand their knowledge onto others. They've been very patient, very coachable, and still talented enough, I think, to make a run at a state championship. I think Coach Thompson over at Jesuit has another elite level team. And then, we've beat up on each other early, but Gaither and Gaither and Tampa Bay Tech are both really good teams. Unfortunately, they're going to have to play each other in their region, but they're in the same region as Lakeland. Obviously, Lakeland is Lakeland, but both of those teams are really, really good football teams.
And I mean, it just, when we think about this, I mean, if I'm going back correctly, I think, in terms of a team in Hillsborough County, y'all were like the last ones to win a state title, I want to say, if my mind is correct, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm having to dig back to find when the last time Hillsborough County actually won a state title. And I think it might have been y'all, actually.
Well, private school wise, it was
private school wise is different, but I'm talking about just a public school. Yeah,
public school. I don't know. To be honest with you, it's been too long.
A couple years ago, obviously, if you want to talk about all of Hillsborough County,
right? You have Berkeley and Jesuit, and have done a good job, and Tampa Bay Tech played in a state championship, and I mean, it was not too long ago where we were in 4 out of 5, and then had played something like 8 out of 10. So we're hoping to get back kind of on that that pedestal again. So I think we got a team that's hungry and excited, and focused on the week-to-week grind that hopefully will all come to fruition here in the next couple of months.
No, absolutely here. And just real quick, let's talk about the atmosphere at Lyle Flag on a Friday night. Talk about it. Just talk about the atmosphere and the fan base. Obviously, if people that, Sefner, Hillsborough County's big, obviously, but Sefner's still got a lot of rural roots in a way.
Yeah, for sure. I always laugh, and part of the rivalry you guys talked about Plant is we were Tampa's team when we won our back-to-back state championships, keys to the city to Coach Callahan. And then here comes Robert Wiener and Plant, and now we're Seffner Armwood. We're no longer Tampa Armwood. So the Seffner community has always wrapped its arms around us. I'm born and raised in this area, extremely proud of what we have. Our game day atmosphere is unbelievable. I absolutely love it. Our band is up to over 180 kids in it. Our student section's growing. We have a huge alumni base that comes back. Our administration with Dr. Robinson, our athletic director, and Principal Dina Langston have done a great job of reaching out to the community. I mean, we really do try to take a lot of pride in making sure our game day experience, our announcer does a great job with the video board. We got a big jumbotron and always is active and everything. So I really, that means something to me. Friday Night Lights really does. I don't think there's any better place in the world than that. And on Friday night, when we talk about a community, and hopefully Seffner is a true example of that.
No, absolutely. And so somebody said the last public winners in Hillsborough County were Plant and Armwood in 2011. That's been a long time. Wow.
I was an OC with that. I got a couple of guys that are coaching for me now that were players on that team. That seems way too long ago.
And real quick before, I know as we wrap this up, but to some of the guys that you played with, you just mentioned that is awesome. Just talk about being able to, some of the guys you obviously coach with, obviously, you're coaching with now, you played with, and it's really interesting just how, it's a small world after all.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, one of the biggest joys has been our running back coach is Matt Jones, who played for us and was a part of that 2011 state championship team, and played at Florida, and then played for the Redskins for a stint there. And then I think I have 3 or 4, Vaughn Cross and Antonio Booth that are alumni, Deontay Florence, that were guys that played in our program and come back. And it's just really, really cool to see how long our program has been at a pretty high level in the continuity of the staff, from Coach Warden to Coach Justice, Coach Ward. I mean, guys that have been with me for over 9 years, and sometimes we're even longer than, were there with me as assistants when I was a coordinator.
No, absolutely. Wow. That is impressive there. And Coach, definitely appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule here to talk to us about Armwood football. And of course, Scott Chambers said Coach Davis such a good relationship with the alumni, and talking about you're right there bringing the alumni back to coach on the staff, and that's pretty impressive. Even the fans are loving it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we love it, man, and just want to continue to put Armwood and Seffner on the map and try to make it a place known throughout the whole state for high school football.
Oh, absolutely, Coach, and appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. Best of luck at Hillsborough, and we'll be following along the rest of the way for the Hawks as the back half of the season approaches and towards the March to postseason.
Yes, and thank you guys for all you guys do for high school football and in the coverage. Really appreciate it. It's special. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, Coach. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was head coach Evan Davis of the Armwood Hawks there joining us, and appreciate it taking the time. Really good, another good, great interview we've had here tonight.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good guests on, and Coach Davis he does a phenomenal job with that team, and I look forward to seeing how they do over the next few weeks, especially with that game against Plant coming up in a couple of weeks.
No, absolutely. And appreciate On the Clock Radio who's joining us here, and we'll give them a follow back. So hey, y'all follow us, we follow you. We'll do support. Hey, it's not just about us. It's about everyone trying to promote high school football and high school sports in this state, and we definitely appreciate that. And of course, if you're not following us on the Florida HS Football YouTube channel, get on there, hit that subscribe button, hit the like buttons on our videos. The more you hit our like buttons on the videos, the more it's going to recommend it to people and bring people to our channel. And then hit that notification bell when we go live. So we definitely appreciate everybody joining us here on the Blitz, Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz, Chris.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Wait a second. Are we talking about age here now?
Don't get me started.
Don't get me started either. Anyways, we got to take a break here. We'll be right back, and we've got our fan comments, questions, and our pick six coming up here as we wrap up the show here for night number 1 of our Blitz shows here on FortHSFootball.com. We'll be right back right after this.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught. All right, welcome back here to the Tampa Bay edition of the Blitz here as we roll along here into our fan questions and comments. And this chat is just running wild, Chris, tonight.
You know, during the interview, I almost busted out laughing right when Coach was talking, and it was because of this chat.
This chat is just, I love the fact that there's interaction with this chat. This chat is definitely awesome. But by the way,
I nearly busted out laughing. You guys wouldn't know it. Just, I'm sitting here, it's like, you guys got to be kidding me.
I'm not
in the middle of an interview.
I know we're about to. Noli's gone off the chains over here. Mark Cannon's talking about they only had telegraph when he was a toddler, and I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm almost 39. I'll be 39 at the end of the year, and I remember when there was payphones on the corners of the streets. Okay, so there we go. I remember when there was a time before internet, and you got you want the weather report,
yeah,
the time report, you turn on the radio station.
Oh, I remember.
Now these days, I can just get my weather forecast from Weather Channel, and not even turn the radio on.
Oh man!
At least I could ask Alexa right here. You know, I mean, I could
listen to no weather radio with the robotic voice.
Oh, rotary phones too. Jeez, oh, you guys are killing me over here. Oh, guys, you're killing me. Oh, killing me.
Give me a quarter. Give me a quarter.
Give me a quarter and call someone. Who cares?
every set of cell phones that come in, nobody needs quarters.
Nope.
Except to do laundry. So.
By the way, who would have thought that your cell phone could do everything? Basically, with your flashlight, take your pictures. I mean,
yeah.
Well, you know what that music means. It is time for the pick six as we get rolling here with our pick six picks, six games, 6 picks, 1 winner. Young kids nowadays don't know what a VHS tape is. I remember watching VHS a lot when I was really young. I mean, props to you on that one, Emery.
Yeah.
Those VHS tapes, they're definitely not. All of them actually are worth something now, I believe. Especially if in finding a working VHS player. That's another thing these days. Now, can we go back to talk about 8-tracks and Betamax? Yeah.
Well, we had the real film, back in the 80s. So.
Oh, and radio stations use reel to reel. All right. Well, our first game up on the picks is Bartow at Auburndale. Auburndale is a 6-point favorite over Bartow. Win probability, Auburndale 73%, Bartow 27%. So, boy, and I know you wanted to talk about this. We talked about this earlier, but you said it, Chris. Auburndale and Jones, similar schedules in terms of the teams they played, but Jones has had a struggle here in the last 2 weeks, and but Auburndale, they're in the same district, so and Auburndale's already got a one game lead on the district there in terms of already beating Lake Wales, so Auburndale might actually be a bit on the highway.
Yeah, and I alluded to it earlier. I said, Auburndale, like I said, they played a similar schedule to Jones, but Auburndale winning and Jones is just struggling. I can't put my finger on it on whether. What's going on with Jones? But in this game, give me Auburndale to blow Bartow out. This one's not going to be close.
No, absolutely. And Reno is going Auburndale as well. I think Auburndale's going to go get this win here, and they're just going to build on this season. If it were for that loss to Lakeland, they'd be undefeated coming in this game here. But I'm really interested. And speaking of Lake Wales, our next game up is Sanford Seminole at 2-2, Lake Wales 3-1, and Lake Wales is an 18-point favorite over the Fighting Knolls. Lake Wales 94% chance to win this game. This is man. If there's a game that Lake Wales could have an issue with, this might be that game. This might just be this game here. Outside of the Auburndale game, this might be a game that could cause problems for Lake Wales. And but right now the computer says Highlanders 18-point favorite over Seminole.
Yeah, this is the trap game for Lake Wales, but I think Lake Wales they really come along the last few weeks. But give me Lake Wales by a couple touchdowns.
I'm gonna go Lake Wales as well. Reno's going Lake Wales as well.
I agree with this computer.
Okay, you heard it here first from Mr. Lake himself. He agrees with the computer on this. I think I lean Lake Wales on this. I think there's obviously it's always a good atmosphere at Legion Field there in Lake Wales, but here's the thing: if Seminole pulls off the win, yes, it goes down as an upset. The computer will detect it as an upset, but it will also not totally surprise me because Lake Wales is coming. Like we said earlier at the start of the show, I believe even Noli said it. Kind of suspect in my opinion. So we'll see. We'll see what the Highlanders bring out. We'll see. All right, our third game is Plant 2-2 at Sumner 3-1, and the computer likes Sumner in this one. 7A versus 6A matchup. Win probability: Sumner 60%, Plant 40%. Besides the free parking at Lake Wales.
I like Sumner in this one too. Plant, good program, but again, Plant they're going to be playing against Armwood in a couple of weeks, so they're going to be losing their focus in this game, I think. So, give me Sumner.
Yeah, give me Sumner, and I'm going to take the over on this. So I'm rolling with Sumner here. Chris is rolling with Sumner as well, and Reno is rolling with Sumner as well. So we're going to go Sumner in our picks here. Mark Cannon's like, chill, please, Plant. Good old Mark Cannon. Good old Mark Cannon. I appreciate you. Thank you. All y'all that tune in and watch the shows, and please tell your friends, tell your family, tell them about our shows, because we want more of y'all on here watching these shows, or at least going back and watching our shows. So we do appreciate that. Mm-hmm. All right, for our fourth game is golf at Zephyr Hills. Golf 2-1, Zephyr Hills 4-0. Probably probably in terms of my opinion right now, two of the better teams right now sitting in Pasco County. And did I bet the full house again? No, Emery, I didn't bet the full house. Zephyr Hills a 23-point favorite over golf, giving Zephyr Hills a 97% chance of winning on this one.
Give me Zephyr Hills. It's not going to be close.
You know what? I like what Zephyr Hills has got going. I love what Coach Carroll has got going there for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs are rolling on a really good streak. Honestly, it's you know what? I gotta think that Zephyr Hills could be potentially a 9-1 or a full 10-0 team by the time they get to towards the end of the season. That's just the way it's right now.
I'm thinking the same thing.
So that's where I'm rolling. And Reno is rolling with the Zephyr Hills as well. And yes, that's a brand of spring water. And yes, they used to be a sponsor. Don't ask me why. I don't know what happened. Oh, no, that's right. The Major League Baseball. You can thank them for that one. Anyways, I got to roll. Cardinal Newman in Jesuit. Cardinal Newman, a 22-point favorite over Jesuit. The Crusaders, big win over Pahokee. Cardinal Newman, 97% favorite here. Honestly, I think this game is much closer. Give me the under on this one. Just give me the under here for this one.
Yeah, give me the under 2. And I still think Cardinal Newman will win the thing. Jesuit playing at home, but I think Cardinal Newman, they've got something to prove.
Yeah, I know. And Jesuit's got, and I see Mark Cannon's calling Jesuit. You know what? Okay, I'll say this for Jesuit. You win this one. This is huge. This will put some big points on you.
Mm-hmm.
Marquez says computer just broke. I can't right now. I can't. Anyways, Cardinal Newman, Jesuit. Reno's going Cardinal Newman. I'm going Newman. We're all going Cardinal Newman here, but Emery says Cardinal Newman, but it's much closer. Yeah, a lot of people think it's going to be much closer. And Coach Molina is joining us, and he says, "Give me Jesuit underdogs for the win." Well, hey, I see that. Yeah. All right, and our sixth and final game is Gaither. 3-1 at Tampa Bay Tech, 3-1. Tampa Bay Tech, 11-point favorite over the Cowboys, giving the Titans an 85% chance of winning the game.
Yeah, give me Tampa Bay Tech in this one, too. I like what Gaither's doing, but Tampa Bay Tech is a much better team right now.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa Bay Tech as well. I got to say this. These are two really good teams. You heard Coach Davis talk about it. They're going to roll. These two teams are going to have to meet each other probably in the playoffs again. But right now, I like what Tech is doing outside of the one loss, obviously, to Armwood. And they do have that big win over Venice. But really, at the point, I like Tampa Bay Tech. If either wins, it would go a long way for them in terms of playoff positioning as well. But they're in two different districts. It's not a district game, but I expect them maybe potentially to meet each other again in the Class 5A playoffs because they're in that same region. So, with that said, that is our pick 6 for week number 6 here, Chris, and that's it. I mean, we're just, yeah.
Hard to believe we got so many shows going on.
Yeah, I know, right?
And the staff's been flying tonight.
It has been flying, and we'll have 4 more shows tomorrow night. Well, by the way, I think, who was it that's asked for it? We're going to have overtime. I'm not sure who asked about it. Well, the overtime is kind of like next week on Tuesday, because, we'll have 5 shows, but, the fourth quarter's done. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over for the night. Definitely appreciate everybody who has joined us, and we appreciate everybody that has done this. Noli says game over. Remember Noli's fourth quarter.
I mean, if you guys want an overtime, we can probably come up with something. I mean,
yeah,
it would be nothing but jibber jabber. So.
Yeah, but anyways, everybody, appreciate you watching here on the 4 Blitz shows tonight that we have. We'll start tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with our Central Florida Blitz. Coming up tomorrow night, we're going to have head coach Andy Johnson from Boone join us on the Central Florida Blitz. Northeast Florida Blitz, we'll have Christopher Floyd, the head coach of Oakleaf. And then on our North Central Florida Blitz, we'll have J.B. Bynum, and his kicker, Jaylena Lopez Newman, on the North Central Florida Blitz. And then Panhandle, we're going to have Christopher Saul from Mid-Bay News, one of the up-and-coming online publications in the Panhandle in the Fort Walton Beach area. Definitely we'll talk some Okaloosa County football, especially with Niceville and Choctaw coming up this week. So that is a preview for tomorrow night. Chris, any final words?
Just enjoying this chat tonight. They almost had me rolling with during an interview. So
I know.
To them.
I know. It's
And it would have been funny because Coach would be like, "What the hell are you laughing at?"
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. All right, everybody. For Christopher Like, I'm Joshua Wilson. Appreciate everybody that joined us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night starting at 7 o'clock here on FloodHSFootball.com and the FloodHSFootball.com social media networks. Good night, everybody.